you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. Okay, if they had had YouTube videos back when this book was written, I think that's exactly how Maude would have started this book review video. Hey everyone! So today we're talking about a little book called Harold and Maude by Collin Higgins. I'm going to try to summarize this book and make it sound like it's not weird, because at face value it does kind of sound like that, but it's totally not. It's totally cute and adorable. Just sounds kind of funny at face value. So here goes. Harold and Maude is a comedic little book about a boy named Harold. He's 19 years old and he's pretty much obsessed with death. He fakes suicides to shock his mother, and he goes to funerals of people that are total strangers, and he drives a hearse. He's committed to his obsession with death. Whereas Maude is a 79-year-old woman who is totally obsessed with living life to its fullest. She does all sorts of youthful activities, such as borrowing cars that are not her own, aka stealing them, and she liberates, city trees and replants them in the forest. And she climbs trees, and she paints happy faces on religious statues because she thinks they're too sad, and other craziness. So when these two characters meet, they build this relationship together that changes Harold's whole outlook on his life. And that's, in a nutshell, what Harold and Maude is about. Harold and Maude is a situation that I often find myself in, where the film version of the book is by far more well known than the actual novel. In fact, I did not know until this year that there actually was a book that preluded the movie, and I've watched the movie several times. I really enjoy it. So I was crazy surprised when I found out there was a book, and I had to go find it and read it. And it's totally a worthwhile read because it is very funny and also thought-provoking, and it has a really cool message. I'm kind of obsessed with this book right now too, because it got me out of a pretty serious reading slump in which I did not know what to read next really, and I was just sort of meandering from book to book, and I actually dropped some books. And then I suddenly realized what I wanted to read was a bunch of books that were about quirky storyness and comedicness, and also usually about semi-socially awkward boys for some reason, because I guess I just wanted this boys coming of age novel, which is really funny because I'm a girl. And this book definitely fits that bill. It has all of those things that I listed. First of all, this book was a lovely read just because I loved Collin Higgins' writing style so much. There was an excellent balance of dialogue and description, and what I thought was great about the description was that it was an excellent example of kind of that show and not tell thing that people talk about, but not everybody really does it, and I think it's awesome when people can do it and do it really well. Like, he really showed why Harold did all his crazy faking suicide things, and it had a lot to do with the way his mother treats him, but he didn't say it has to do with the way his mother treats him. He actually showed that through the actions of the characters and the dialogue that was chosen and the scenes. So he did that with every element of the story, which I thought was wonderful. And I just loved the way he laid out the story, and the way it's so unique, and the way he created these really awesome kind of quirky and crazy scenes, and these quirky and crazy characters, and how all those culminated into very amusing moments in the story and showed different things about the characters, and also just showed the gradual change in the characters. Also really loved the words that he chose and the way he used things like alliteration and things like that in his just general style. And I feel like everyone should give this book points for making a relationship that could seem sort of unsettling to some. I mean, you know, he does have a relationship with, he's 19 and he does have a relationship with a 79-year-old woman, which could be unsettling to some. To others, they might just think age is just a number and it won't be unsettling. But I totally wrote it in this way where it became really endearing and really enriching to the story and not at all strange or weird. You don't even think it's weird at all, at least I don't. And it could, but he really pulls off not making it seem strange or weird, which is great in my opinion. Even though a lot of what is in the book did end up in the film, I still think there's a huge benefit of reading the book. First of all, because I actually thought some scenes were even more hilarious in the novel, even though I'd seen them in the movie and they were hilarious there, but they were extra funny in the novel, I guess, because you're getting a little backstory to what's happening through the descriptions, I suppose. And also, you are getting to imagine it in your own mind, so sometimes the film in your head is different than the film in the film, you know? So it was definitely more hilarity to me, and I was just laughing and laughing in public. And also, another benefit to reading the book is that you get to see all the characters and scenes that aren't in the movie, and those are some of the quirkiest, most amusing characters and scenes that I have read in a long time. They're just very interesting and like not within the box at all. The box. If you like amusing and unique stories, I think you definitely should check Harold and Maude out. I personally loved the book. Loved. In slow-mo. Not really. In fact, I devoured this novella, because it's a novella-length book, in about 4 hours. That's how much I loved it and how much of a fast read it is. So check it out. It proves that great things come in small packages. On to the reading portion of this video. I'm going to go ahead and set the scene a little bit just because I'm not sure where I started makes it very clear, but basically Harold and Maude have attended a funeral and Maude has borrowed Harold's hearse to just drive around, and she's giving him a bit of a crazy driving experience in his hearse. She's not the best driver, so insanity ensues while they have a little bit of a chat. Harold picked himself up off the floor and looked out the window. The gravestones merged together in a flickering blur of gray. Maude came to the entrance of the cemetery and spun out into the main road. Cruising at about 60 miles per hour, she settled back and relaxed. "What a delight it is, Harold," she said, "to bump into again. I knew we were going to be great friends the moment I saw you. You go to funerals often, don't you?" Harold had one hand braced on the dashboard and the other on the back of the seat. "Yes," he answered without taking his eyes off the road. "Oh, so do I. They're such fun, aren't they? It's all change, all revolving, burials and births. The end to the beginning to the end. The great circle of life." She made a sudden left-hand turn that sent a terrified Volkswagen into a heart-stopping change of lanes. "My, this old thing handles well. Ever drive a hearse, Harold?" "Yes." "Well, it's a new experience for me." She raced over a small hill, causing Harold's head to bounce repeatedly on the ceiling, and then made another sudden left-hand turn that threw the rear wheels into a momentary slide. "Not too good on curves," she exclaimed, and put her foot down on the gas. "Shall I take you home, Harold?" Harold, halfway between the seat and the floor, blurted out faintly, "But this is my car." "Your hearse." "Yes." Maude stepped on the brakes and skidded to a dusty halt in the gravel by the side of the road. She looked over at him. fancy that? My, then you shall take me home. So that was my review of Harold and Maude by Collin Higgins. I hope you will check this book out because it was fun and fabulous. And I did make a book playlist for this book if you want music to read by. I will leave the link to that in the description if you would like to have a listen. And I will also leave a link on the screen probably as well. And in addition, I will be doing a books to film segment on Harold and Maude as well because there is a movie. I did review this on my blog. I have a link to that in the description, but I will probably add some extra tidbits to my review in the video. So if you're interested in that, I will have that up in 2 weeks. Check that out when that's up, or subscribe if you want to check out a multitude of upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.